All right, hello everyone. We are going to learn how to make this owl out of Model Magic. And to make this owl, we are going to need about two sort of kiwi-sized pieces. Now you'll see I have one that's blue already because it came that way, but then I have one that's white. And if you just have white, that's okay. I am going to show you how to use some markers to color it. So if it's just white, this one was all just white, and I actually made these colors myself. So I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. But you need these two pieces. And the piece, if you do have a colored one, the piece that makes sort of the wings and the head, and obviously is the back of the owl, is gonna be one of these. So I'm gonna use the blue one for this time. Last time I just did white. So when you do this, you wanna start by rolling a ball, and you can roll in a circle motion, or you can roll in your hand in a circle motion, but you wanna I usually give it some squishes too. It kind of helps get the clay going. It activates this Model Magic. This is a air dry clay. Kind of looks like that. They sell buckets of it too, but this is air dry, so it doesn't have to go in a kiln. It won't be rock hard when it's done. It's actually kind of like a squishy foam feeling when it's done, but it dries and gets hard. So if you give it some, I'd say like maybe 20 of these little squishes, that helps get the clay going, which is nice, because then it's less likely to crack when it dries. So do that first maybe, and then do your rolls. And you just don't want to press down. So if you're pressing hard when you roll, you're going to end up with a pancake instead. It's actually better to do more circular rolls like this. See, I'm rolling in a circle. And not so much worry about pressing, because pressing is not going to help you. It's really how many rolls you do. All right, so I've got it pretty smooth there. So now this piece needs to be flattened out. So I'm going to press it down. That is not big enough, I can tell you right now. It needs to be bigger than probably the palm of your hand. So you're going to kind of keep pressing down on it until you get it a little bit bigger. Obviously, the bigger it is, the bigger the owl will be. And then just very gently lift it off the table. If you're worried about it getting stuck on the table, you could put a piece of paper underneath, but usually it doesn't unless you leave it on there for a long time or get it wet. All right, so that is gonna be what I build on for my owl. And I'm gonna kind of stretch it, make it a little bit more circular. Okay, so the other piece here, you're actually gonna use more than once. So this is where kind of the other colors come into play. So you can see I had 4 different colors here. So I'm gonna take this, actually I'm gonna squish it and get it started again. I'll do that first. But then I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna split it up. All right, so 20 good squishes, getting it working. All right, so now I'm gonna take it, I'm gonna split it in half. Then I'm gonna take each half and split it in half. I'm just kind of digging my fingers in and pulling. All right, so now I've got those 4 pieces. So 2 of the pieces are gonna be for the feathers, for the belly, and then the other 2 pieces we can use for the face and the feet. So like I said, I'm gonna show you how to color this. I'm just probably gonna color 2 of these pieces and maybe not the other ones. When you color these pieces, you are gonna use a washable marker. Crayola is fine, but if you have, a different brand, that'll work too. Permanent markers won't work. We really want more the washable kind. Permanent markers work a little bit, but I think with my blue, I'm gonna go with maybe some green on one of these. So I'm just dabbing the marker in there. It's not gonna hurt the marker. It's not gonna be super bright if I only do one part of this, so I'm actually gonna do both parts. Flip it over, do both sides. And then to mix this up, oh, I should probably do the other one first. Let's see, I'll do purple on this one. All right, so to mix this up, I am going to be folding to kind of fold in the color. So I'm just gonna kind of fold it and then keep folding it and pressing it flat and folding it and folding and folding until all the color looks blended. So it may take a bit to get it all mixed in. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it should be pretty mixed. All right, so lots of folds. Okay, same thing on the other one. So if you want to color all your pieces, you can. If you want to leave some of it white, that's fine too. We're just making sure we fold it after we've colored it and get all that color blended in there. You might notice it gets on the table or your hands. It should be washable, so not a big deal. If you want to keep a wet paper towel with you, you can. All right, so there's my 2 colors, and I'm gonna leave these other 2 white. So for our next step, we are gonna be doing the feathers for the belly. So I think I'm going to use my white piece and my green piece for that. I'm going to save these other two for the face and the feet. So for these, we actually need to split them into smaller pieces first. So I'm going to take one of these, I'm going to split it in half. I'm going to split each half in half. And then I'm going to split them one more time, so I have 8 pieces. So I'm always splitting it in half. Okay, same thing for the white. Split it in half, take each half, split them in half, take each of those, split them in half. So another 8 pieces. That's going to give me 16 total. Now each of these little pieces has to be rolled into a ball. When they're small, it's easier to roll inside your hands than to roll on the table. It goes pretty fast that way. I'm just going to roll them all into balls, nice and quick. They don't have to be perfect because they're not going to stay balls. We're going to kind of layer them and press them a little bit flat on our owl. So don't worry too much if they're not perfect. And then we're going to start placing them next. So I like to do sort of a pattern when I'm using 2 colors. If you're not using 2 colors to make the feathers, then the pattern obviously isn't going to be an issue. It's more of a color pattern. So I am going to do, let's see, I'm going to start placing them green, white, green to start. Okay, so that's my first row there. And when I do that, I'm going to move this down a little bit. All right, so when I do that, I want to actually kind of press just the top half on so that they're sticking real good. So I didn't press the bottom, I just pressed the top half. All right, so then on the next one, I'm gonna do white, green, white, green. I'm gonna press them on, okay? So they're kind of overlapping. The ends of them are over top the other ends, and that's how feathers look. Feathers kind of overlap each other like that. So, all right, so then the next one, we'll do green, white, and I'm not doing them on the sides, I'm just doing them in the middle for the belly. Green, white, and then again press on like that top half. And then let's see, how many pieces do I have left? It looks like I have 5 pieces left. So I'm gonna do, we'll go back to 3 here, do it that way, and then save these last 2 for the top. All right, so white, green, white, and these last 2 are gonna go up here. All right, so there are the feathers for the belly. Now, my next job is going to be the folding part. So I'm going to take each edge on the side and fold it over to make the wings, and then kind of press it down real good. I might stretch it out a little too, and then fold. Okay, so I'm going to do that first. Press them down pretty good, not too flat, just so they're sticking on there real good. And you'll notice it covered some of the feathers, but that's okay. And then this part here at the top is what I'm actually going to fold down to get the head. So I'm going to take this and bring it in, kind of twist these a little so they're sticking up, and then I'm going to press that on, and that gives me my head. All right, make sure it's still not stuck on the table there. You can kind of adjust a little if you need to, or press some things in if you want, kind of form it a little. All right, so now I am ready to make the face. So when I'm making the face, I obviously am going to need some eye pieces, and I'm going to do the feet and the beak. So to start the eyes, I think I'm going to use white first, and I need 2 pieces that are about the size of what I would say marbles. So make sure when I roll it, it looks kind of close to a marble, or like a gumball. The other part of the eye needs to be a smaller piece, so I always think like M&M sized. That's actually a little big, so I'm going to put some back. So the first size is like a marble size, the second size is like an M&M. Then, before I put them on the face, I'm actually going to press them flat, because if I press them flat on the face, I'm going to end up kind of pushing the face around. So I'm going to use my thumb and press it down and get them nice and flat before I put them on. I'm going to put the eyes, you know, owls have really big eyes, so really big is a good thing. I'm going to press those on, and then I'm going to take the smaller ones, and again, I'm going to flatten them first, not too flat, just a little bit flat, and then I'm going to put those in the middle. All right, and then I'm gonna use some purple for the beak. So again, I need like a marble-sized piece. I'm gonna roll it in a ball. And then I am gonna line up my finger and my thumb on each side of the ball, like that, and I'm gonna press them together. And then I'm gonna line up my finger and my thumb here and press it. And that is gonna give me the beak shape. That's a pretty big beak, but that's okay. All right. And then the last part is the feet. I think I'm gonna use the purple again for the feet. Again, we need 2 kind of marble-sized pieces. I'm gonna roll them into balls. And then I am actually gonna take the ball, like I did for the eyes, I'm gonna press it a little bit flat, not too flat. And then you're actually gonna wanna use a pair of scissors. And you're gonna cut 2 times to make the toes. And then you can push those on. And you might actually want to, if you don't have enough room on the front, you can kind of see it's getting a little bit in the way there. You could push them on from the back if you wanted to. All right, so there's my owl's feet. And you can kind of pinch the toes separate if you want. All right, now, for some other decoration type things that you could do, one of them is you can sort of press in, marker caps work really well for this because they're hollow in the middle. You can press in to kind of create extra rings in the eyes. And if you have different size markers, different size caps, or if you have like a really interesting marker that has like a cap that has extra lines and things in it, you can use that. And then I always like to put like a sort of a dot of color in the middle of the eye. So I would just use one of my markers and actually kind of just sort of press it in there, give it a little bit more of a dark center to the eye. Now, if you want to be able to hang this owl up, obviously it's going to need to dry first, but you could poke kind of a hole through it if you want. I did that in this one. I used a paper clip and I just kind of put a hole through there. You want to do that probably before it dries, and then you could thread like a ribbon or a string through there and hang it up. If you don't want to hang it up, you can just leave it as is and let it dry, and then probably lean it against something and sort of stand it up when you're done. So I hope you have fun making your owls.